Sahana Bhavatu. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. I chant Shanti Mantra, peace invocation. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashye Maksha Bhirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Istuštuvagam Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitayadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vriddashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishvavedaha Swasti nastarshyo arishtanemihi Swasti no bruhaspatir dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we have seen so far total 5 queries are being cleared, in which the Pipalada Rishi, the teacher, is addressing one question or one student at a time, and students ask the question in the area of creation, in the area of what is the supreme most among all the components or devas functioning in this body, and comes up with the prana being a supreme most. The prana also beholds the universe, subdividing 5. Here also subdividing 5. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. In the universe, it's sun, the earth, the air, the fire, and the antariksha, the space. That is prana. Means through sun, prana expresses or manifests as a total prana. Through earth, as a total apana, there is expression of prana. Like that it goes. Okay. And that way prana upasana has been endorsed. And then Bhagwan Pipalada Rishi is asked the question in the area of the state of consciousness, 3 states of consciousness: Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupti. And also the 4th one, which is Turiya. Over there the important punchline message was that consciousness is appearing or manifesting through these 3 states. Consciousness has nothing to do with 3 states. It's just like a person reflected through mirror. Person has nothing to do with the reflection. If something happens to reflection, say something happens to mirror, so naturally something happens to reflection also. distorted or anything. It has nothing to do with the person. So that particular fact, that particular highest fact is being given over there. Okay, that self is a sarva sakshi, is a witness principle of all three states. And one need to very, very, very carefully separate self from non-self. With help of just separating the non-self, one arrives to the self. That's the only way to arrive to the self. And then the question is also asked in the area of Omkar Upasana, that we have seen also, where different way Omkar Upasana has been performed by sadhaka till death, till last breath. So higher order of sadhaka or spiritual seeker is supposed to perform a sadhana or upasana till last moment. It means person must be convinced about the efficacy of this upasana. One, person must have the faith in the result proclaimed by the scriptures or the great masters. Two, and person must have withdrawn oneself, renounced oneself from the world. All three are necessary. The higher the quality in all three, the higher the sincerity and regularity of the sadhana, of the upasana it will be. Okay. If still mind has something to gain or something to just check or something to experience, there will be a branch of mind going outward, experiencing or trying to experience like that. Okay. So that kind of a dedication, this upasaka is needed. And that's why to achieve that dedication, one needs to annihilate one's own likes and dislikes, one's own attachments, one's own prejudices, etc. through the area of service, selfless service. So that comes first. If that is done properly, means I can function effortlessly in area of action with different kind of people, different kind of action, with different kind of results also. I'm almost neutral. I might have some likes and dislikes within, but I'm not overpowered by them. It shows that, okay, now that area of action has given what it has to most extent. And then now area of upasana, area of sadhana or area of meditation should be the primary objective or primary spiritual practice of that individual. Because this is how it goes. So these are the two main big ones, area of sadhana. One need to undergo so that one's instrument becomes pure, one's instrument becomes sharpened, and one's intellect becomes very subtle, so that one can distinguish self from non-self. Otherwise, all the time we are with the self. What with the self? We are self, right? But it's hard to identify, or almost impossible to identify. Why so? Because the instruments are not sharpened enough. Instrument is not subtle enough. So like some car, if we just pedal it more than particular its limit, it starts vibrating. Still, if you keep pedaling, it starts smoking also. And still, if we keep doing, it will stop for good also sometimes. So that happens. Why? The capacity of that instrument, the car, is not that great. We need to improvise that. Then we can use it for the higher mileage or higher acceleration, like that. Same for our personal instrument as well. Okay. And to improvise the quality of our instrument, there is a karma yoga, selfless service, and there is a upasana yoga, this meditation on saguna brahma, consciousness with qualities. Okay, these two are a must. And at the same time, one may get, or we should get, this knowledge of self also, that what is self, what is not self, etc. And then once the instrument is sharpened enough, then one exclusively inquires into the nature of the self. Okay. Earlier also there is a inquiry, but in a bits and pieces. That majority portion of sadhana goes in karma yoga or upasana or meditation like that. Then exclusively in the nature of the self, which is called a nididhyasanam, contemplation meditation. Okay, so that's why when upasana is properly done, one is eligible for a Gnana Yoga, which is Vedanta Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. Listening to Vedanta properly, one is able to grasp it, one is able to retain it, one is able to understand the knowledge of Vedanta, what is taught by teacher, what is told by Upanishad. So that dharana or grasping, understanding is proper. It's a due dharana happens and a proper dharana happens. And then followed by one's own contemplation, thinking about the nature of self, what I believe is right or wrong in the light of the scriptural knowledge. And that is ultimately followed by the contemplation meditation or nididhyasanam. So this is the grand scheme given by the Mother Shruti for each and every individual. Okay. So for that, the upasana is emphasized by Shruti in very many different ways. So that maybe minimum one upasana takes our fancy, takes our maybe that is good one. Let's try like that. So there are so many upasanas actually. That another Upanishad called Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad, they are full of many upasanas. Okay. So, because without that, the self, non-self distinction is not possible. That's why it has been kept. Okay. So now with that, we can move on to the next or the last ones. Okay. The last query. And last query is asked by Sukesha Bharadwaja to Guru Pippalada Rishi. I'll chant the mantra. Again, it's a small paragraph. Atha hi enam Sukesha Bharadwaja papracha Bhagavan Hiranyanabha Kaushalyah Rajaputraha Mam Upetya Etam Prashnam Apruchata Shodashakalam Bharadwaja Purusham Vetha Tam Aham Kumaram Abruvam Na Aham Imam Veda Yat Aham Imam Vedisham Katham Te Na Avakshyami Iti Samulo Va Esha Parishushyati Ye Anrutam Abhivadati Tasmat Na Arhami Anrutam Vaktum Satushnim Ratham Aruhya Pravavraja Tam Tvam Pruchami Kau Asau Purusha Iti. One paragraph, like a small essay, And here, that Sukesha Bharadwaja is now the last student to ask the question. And even the paragraph is longer, the questions say only one only. Okay. They are not like a bunch of questions, It's only one question. Okay. But the Sukesha Bharadwaja is asking the question, and before asking question to his guru Pippalada, he narrates some background. Like one day it happened to me like that, I was sitting and something happened, somebody came like that. So here also the same. He first of all narrates that background. He wants to tell that how I derived to this question. How this question appeared to me, which is unanswered. I want to get the answer. So he asked this question to his teacher, and he says in a story, Hiranyanabha Kaushalya Rajaputra. There was one Rajaputra or prince, from Kaushala Desha, from one country called Kaushala. His name is Hiranyanabha. One day he approached me and he asked this question. What's the question? Shodasha Kalam Bharadwaja Purusham Vetha. Hey Bharadwaja, he addressed me and says, do you know that Shodasha Kala Purusha? the Purusha with the 16 kalas. Okay. And this Sukesha, he was a brahmachari, we can put it this way, brahmachari, Gurukula Vasi, very much learned. He has learned so many scriptures and all that. Okay. But no matter how much we learn, there is much more to learn also. Okay. And those who learn properly, they only know that I know only a tiny, tiny little bit. There is much more to know. Okay. And it's the reverse also. Though those who don't learn properly, they think I know things. Okay. Like it's just like that. Every third person or every second person is a doctor. Okay. But those who are actually doctor, those who are specialist or super specialist, they know I know very little bit in a medical science. The rest all are doctors. It goes that way. So
yeah, YouTube is full of people.
Yes, the Gnanis. Yes, because one is able to talk confidently and fluently doesn't mean that there is a knowledge, So, yeah, because even another Shruti called Kena Upanishad, it says that way, a very beautiful phrase. One who knows, I know, don't know. And one who know, I don't know, knows.
It was a say of Socrates also. The only thing I know is that I don't know anything.
I don't know anything. Yes. Such a beautiful, isn't it? So such masters keep us grounded actually, that yes, that's the actual knowledge, This knowledge, what we gain out of book or out of, some listening or some reading, etc., it's useful. Okay, it's useful, but to ignite that knowledge, actual knowledge is that only. So till we reach that point, yes, I don't know. It's better. So, means basically the humility that is necessary. So here also is the same thing, that this disciple was asked the question, can you tell me that about that Purusha having 16 kala? This disciple didn't know. Okay, they didn't know. He didn't know the answer. So he didn't bluff. He didn't have a ego problem. That he's asking a question, I don't know what will happen, what people will say, society, this, that, nothing. He was not disturbed because he don't know the answer, because that happens to the half pots, not the full pots, or at least who are humbles. So he said, I don't know the answer. You ask the question, okay, that's good. I don't have the answer. So in reply, that prince said, no, you are very, you are testing me either, or I am not eligible. That's why you are telling so. You are knowing answer. Sometimes it happens reverse, because person's reputation is such, person's even integrity is also such. So other person says, no, he knows that, he or she knows that, but maybe I am not eligible. That's why it's not telling. Or maybe some other reason. But here, in the reply, the Sukesha says, if I have knew, I would have definitely told you. But if I tell you what I don't know, means I bluff. So there is a big problem from my side. Big problem will happen at my side. What? If I lie, Samulah va esha parishushyati yah anrutam bhavati abhivadati. Means I get downfall in my spiritual journey because I lie. Everything gets destroyed along with its roots, samula. Okay. And that lie, it can be big, small, half, full, whatever. Lie is a lie. Okay. So even Shankaracharya says that ihaloka paraloka sampatti vinashyati. All purushartha, all hard work goes in zero. Okay. So indirectly here there is a message that why or how much truthfulness is necessary in the path of spirituality. Okay. It's called Arjavam. There is another quality, it's called in the Bhagavad Gita Arjavam. Means truthfulness. Which way? The manasa, vacha, karmana, ekasutrata. What my mind says, same my speech will be, and the same will be my actions. Okay, like that. And also, it's person's responsibility that what I say is true. One has to check. Not that, okay, I know that, so I'm telling. I feel like that you are wrong, that I'm just telling. But one should know. Okay. That's also person's responsibility. See, here also says that, okay, if I tell wrong, it might or it will destroy me. So indirectly, even the teacher also gets the hint that this disciple who is sitting right in front is a qualified one. It goes this way that empirical level truth is a must, or it's a platform, okay, to dive into the absolute truth. Okay. So one who fails to live relative truth will not get the absolute truth. And we know very well that when we face the truth, or when we are challenged, or we take on the challenge to speak truth, naturally there will be difficulties, more difficulties, because at times we get away with some half truth or something else. But here, if we speak truth, we get caught. Okay, because society is made of like a mixture. Society is made of selfish notions. For selfish purpose, the truth works. Let's speak truth. If for selfish purpose, if lie works, speak lie. Or for selfish purpose, just zip off works, don't speak anything. It goes that way. So, tasmat na arhisi anrutam vaktum. That's why this disciple Sukesha tells, that's why I didn't lie. But as a result, that prince was dejected and he just rode on his chariot and left. Okay. But that question was haunting me. It was, it is in my heart since that day. And I'm asking you that same question. Okay. What is that Sodasha Kala Purusha? Okay, I want to know. Okay. And teacher is always ready to answer the question. Okay. The second mantra. Tasmai saho vacha iha eva antas sharire somya sah purushaha yasmin etaha shodashakalaha prabhavanti iti. So here there's a beautiful one. Tasmai, to that Bharadwajaya, Shishyaya. Now this answer is been given. Sahi uvacha, Pippalada Rishi says. The answer is, where is or what is that Shodashakala Purusha? Ihaiva Esha Purusha. Hey Somya, oh pleasing one. Yes, you are doing great. Just relax. I know that question is haunting you, but just relax. I'm going to answer. Ihaiva means asmin sharire eva. In this body only. Yo Veda Viditam Vihitam Guhayam in Taittiriya Upanishad. Okay. Parame Vyoman, like that. Means in this body only, in this heart only, this Purusha is available. This Purusha we are talking about is available. Within this body means within this heart. Gross body is indicated only, but what we need to understand is the mind. And in the mind, the core of the mind. Means the self is available everywhere, but some is the upalabdhi sthana, or where self can be available for us, okay, to begin with, okay, and that area, that location is our heart. And here the heart doesn't mean the physical heart, but through physical heart we can again go inner, which is our mind, and core of the mind, the self resides. Okay.
The one used to say the spiritual heart is on the right side.
Yes. Yes. So that also can be said. That's also fine. But in the core of the heart, self resides. Okay. So there is another quotation also. Sada sarvagato atma sarvatra na avabhasase buddhau eva avabhasat. Means there is another quote in our Upanishad, says the self is everywhere, all pervading, sarvagata, sarvavyapaka, but it's not available for our knowledge. In buddhi, in heart or deeper cave of our buddhi or intellect, the self is available. Means watch there. Look for over there, and that's why looking within is very, very important. Okay. So then why all these pujas where, I'm not looking within? Okay, that question might pop up. So all these pujas and all are to focus or shift our focus from world to God. It is necessary. And then that God I need to see in my heart. Okay. And here that God is called Shodasha Kala Purushaha. So now this Purusha, what Purusha is and how to ascertain, how to know that Purusha in my heart only. Okay. So now there is a very subtle process of inquiry this particular portion goes into, because that's the final portion of Upanishad. At the same time, it talks about the self-consciousness principle in line with help of Shodasha Kala, 16 Kalas. But before we enter into these mantras of inquiry, what is the nature of inquiry we need to understand. Nature of self we are trying to ascertain or know. The self can be known, or the process of knowing the self is been given two ways. First of all, by giving the self characteristics as is. Okay, like what is the nature of self? Example, what is the nature of Brahman? So what is the nature of Brahman? Sat Chit Ananda. What is the nature of Brahman? Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. Okay. So that's the one way to indicate the self. Okay. By giving the nature of the self. And that nature, say existence principle, consciousness principle, bliss principle, one can understand, but it becomes harder for one to comprehend it properly. It's a bit harder. Okay. And that's why the Shruti is, Vedanta is also giving another way to ascertain the Brahman. And what is another way? See, that way one is called Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa means as is, self's own qualities, self's own characteristics. The way two Way 1 because it's the abstract more. Way 2 is also given, which is relatively easier, of course relatively only. That's called Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means the characteristic of self with respect to something else. I give example. It becomes very, very easy. Where when I explain a person that you have not seen or met earlier, and I just tell, okay, that person is 6 feet high, the person is very long, having a very long hairs, is a young boy, okay, with the spectacles on his face, his nose is like a Chinese, all this. So all these characteristics are about that person. And when we look at all the group of people and just try to match these characteristics, when it matches at one particular point, one particular person, we are clear, okay, he is the person talking about, right? So pointing the person directly by his or her characteristics. That's called Swarupa Lakshana. The second way of identifying person is that not directly pointing about person's characteristics, person's nature, but is said that, okay, that person is son of so and so. Okay. And that person is taking care of, bookstore. Okay. So now with help of bookstore, with help of father, that person is indicated. Okay. And that is called Tatastha Lakshana. With help of something else, the object is indicated. Okay. So same here in the case of the self as well. The Swarupa Lakshana, directly pointing, directly indicating, and Tatastha Lakshana, with help of something else indicating. What is something else? Directly we know that Satyam Gnanam Anantam. What is something else? The something else is nothing but this world. With help of world, okay, the self is indicated. So by looking at the world related to self, related to Brahman, one can reach to the Brahman. That's called Tatastha Lakshana. Okay, see, this inquiry is very, very subtle, at times hair-splitting inquiries. Okay. There is another process. It can become tougher also compared to this one even. Another process which is very famous in Vedanta to ascertain the truth. I'll just try to simplify it. It is called Adhyaropa Apavadabhyam Nisprapancham Pratiyate. That's the statement. Means Adhyaropa Apavada method. What is Adhyaropa and Apavada method? Actually, it's a 4-step process rather. 4-step. Step 1, see thing as a effect. See here cause hunting process is going on. Then we will see the same process applied over here in the Upanishad as well. See thing as a effect. Means once we start seeing as a effect, there is a cause also. Okay. Now identify the cause. That's a step 2. Now step 3 is see effect as nothing but the cause only, different way. Okay, it's cause only. That's a step 3. And step 4, because there is no effect as such, because it's cause only, there is no cause as such also, because cause and effect are mutual dependent. Okay, I'll now give some small example. say a pot, that's a famous example. It's been used in a Vedanta pot. The earthen pot. The pot is not just a pot, is an effect. So because it's an effect, there must be a cause. What's the cause? It's a clay. The step 2 is a clay is a cause, pot is the effect. Now step 3, to look at step 3, this step means what? We need to update our vision. Okay. So level 3 of vision is to see pot as a clay only. Pot is nothing but a clay. Okay. Which is a cause. Okay. And level 4, because there is no pot as an effect, there is no clay as a cause. It is, yes, but not as a cause. Okay. So step 1 and step 2 is called Adhyaropa, and step 3 and step 4 is called Apavada. I know it's a bit heavy.
It's the final bit that is difficult.
Final one, the fourth one.
The fourth one.
Yes, fourth one is difficult. Why? Because the effect, if effect is negated, then and then one can negate the cause. Then what is. So as a result of step 4, what is. Okay. So, yeah, that's the challenge.
How do you negate the cause? If you negate the effect, then you say that you negate the cause. But how can you negate the cause?
By negating effect itself, cause negation happens.
How?
Because
If
cause.
you're saying it's an effect, then you don't need to have a cause. But the cause is still there, the clay is still there regardless.
No, it's as it is.
It is.
You're not
Not as a
identifying
cause.
it as
Not as a cause of some effect.
Oh, okay.
It is.
Yeah,
It just is.
Okay.
It's neither
It
one
is.
thing or another.
It is, So that's the point to derive at, ultimately. It is. What is.
But then it is as a pot.
Then it's an effect then.
No. Not necessarily. It is perceived as a pot.
Well, the very fact that you've done this process means that you've lost the pot. effectively.
Yes, that's the point. We lost the pot, yes. Then it is, Because if we just say the pot is there, okay, then again go back to the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4 again.
But is it as clay?
Yeah, it is clay.
It is a clay, that's fine. But it is a clay is, not as a cause or effect.
No,
Yeah.
but
It is clay, that is fine. That exactly we want to come to the point. It is, clay is, it's fine. Okay. Now we can see this 4 step applied in the self and the universe. Okay. So the world is there, all the plural world and infinite and huge and so many varieties, etc. And how we see world is. Okay. That's our current perception, current knowledge. Now, again, we need to take help of scriptures, we need to take help of rishis, the gurus, to see the world as an effect. World is not ever just like that. Okay. Just see it was not like the way it is since ever. Okay. It has a beginning. Okay. And it came from something else. Okay. Or it has a cause. Or when we say some person, we say, okay, you are not just dropped from the heavens. You must have a parents. We say that way. Okay. So here also the world there is a cause of the world. Okay, means world is a effect. World is no. That's our current understanding, but now updated understanding, step 1 would be world is a effect. Okay, because nothing can just come up. Okay, so that part our intellect need to be stable into. The world is an effect. So then the second level of inquiry, even subtler, would be what? The cause. There is a cause of the world. Okay, there is a cause of the world, and the cause, by the help of the scripture, is called Brahman. Okay, there is a cause. Okay, now step 3. Okay, the law is such. Okay, what is the law? The effect is nothing but cause in different way. Effect is nothing but the cause in different way. Milk is a cause and butter is a effect. Okay, milk is a cause, butter is a effect. Butter itself is not a thing, it's a product. Its cause is a milk. Okay, and in butter I can see the milk. Okay, effect is nothing but the cause in different way. Okay, and then because it's all cause only or all milk only, I remove milk as a cause. Same thing here. The Brahman is a cause. Again, in my intellect, I ascertain the link. I need to establish the link. Okay. Now the third step comes, which applying this principle that cause appears in form of effect. Cause appears in form of an effect. Means Brahman appears in form of this world. Okay. See, step 1 was Brahman is a product. But step 3 is world is a product. Step 1 is world is a product. And step 3 is world is Brahman. Okay. So step 1, world is a product. And step 3, world is a Brahman. World is a cause in different way. In a different way. The way butter is. Okay. Now, there is a uniqueness of appearing different way. In example of milk, the milk transformed into curd and then eventually butter. Okay. In case of Brahman, actually there is no change, but it appears to be changed. It appears to be changed. Okay. It appears the way sky appears to be blue. The experience is there, but actually there is no change undergone. Okay. So that's again higher truth about the nature of Brahman, which has transformed into, so-called transformed into the world. Okay, apparently transformed into the world. So step 3 is, world is actually Brahman. And this step 3, I remember there is another senior or higher scripture in Vedanta, it's called Yoga Vasishtha. In Yoga Vasishtha, Guru Vasishtha is explaining to disciple Rama, who is a teenager that time, in that stage. Step 3 only. What you see, the world is actually Brahman. It's Brahman only appearing in form of plural world, the people and the trees and the land and the mountain and the water, etc. It's a Brahman only. And to establish that particular message or Upadesha in Ram's mind, in Yoga Vasishta Rishi is giving so many different analogies also, so many examples also, various different ways explaining that how to look at the world. Okay, so that's the higher or say highest way to look at the world. The world is Brahman. Okay, it can be only possible when there is a step 1 and step 2. Okay, if I see or consider world as world and I just want to work on myself, then again at this point, at this junction, again I get baffled. Okay, so world as a product, and then there is a cause, there is a link, establishing link between two. The way we establish the link, no, that's a father, that's a son, link. Here also, world is a son, Brahman is a father, link. And then, as intellect gets more subtle, world is actually not a son, but what we say, father alone appears as a son, or mother alone appears as a son or daughter. Okay, manifest as a son or daughter. The same way Brahman alone appears, manifest as a world. Okay.
That is only in the waking state, not in Turiya.
Not in a Turiya, okay. This is an inquiry, this is area of inquiry, and we need to do in a waking state only, right? So that's the nature of inquiry the Shruti or Upanishad wants us to do. Right? Because we are tied up in this trio, I am there, individual, world is there, and I'm acting on the world, or world is acting on me, either or both. That we need to get out of, and the way to get out is this given very systematically over here, that I rise my understanding or intellect to these levels. So level 3 is world is nothing but Brahman only. All the plurality, all the change is apparent. Okay. The way sun is appearing to be moving, okay, or the moon is appearing to be eclipsing, but experience is there, but reality is not there. The same way the world has a plural nature, there is a change, there is a vikara, there is a plurality, but actually there is a one only. It is just like there are multiple glasses, mirrors, and I am standing in front, I see multiple shadows, multiple reflections. The same thing, something like that happens in case of world also. So that part also our intellect need to be clear, or to arrive at that point. The world is nothing but Brahman. And in terms of bhakti also, it said the world is nothing but Bhagavan. Okay. But there are chances over there the Bhagavan is with attributes. Para bhakti is also there, where world is a Bhagavan without attributes. The same thing only. Vedanta. Okay. So that's the step 3. And step 4, now it's very simple. The difficulty is here only till step 3. Step 4 is actually there is no effect. So why we label cause? Why label it as a cause? So there is no cause also. It is. Okay. So that way it should be seen. And that particular process is been given over here. Okay. Now if you look at this mantra, it becomes very, very easy. Okay. Because it tells the same thing now. So 4 step, and with terms of Swarupa Lakshana and Tatashta Lakshana, it is a Tatashta Lakshana. With respect to world, the self is indicated, self is pointed, or Brahman is pointed. Okay. So now I can just enter into this mantras. Yasmin etaha shodasha kalaha prabhavanti iti. Okay, shodasha kala purusha. Where is the shodasha kala purusha? Ihaiva sharire antah sharire eva. Okay, that's one.
What verse are you on now?
Verse 2.
2. No.
Verse 2. Yasmin eta shodasha kala prabhavanti. Okay. From where this shodasha kala, 16 kalas, we'll see what 16s are also in the next mantra only. It comes up, it appears. Okay.
Kala?
Huh?
What is kala?
Aspects, 16 aspects. Okay. It comes up. Okay. And how it appeared. Okay. That is also told in a single mantra. Next mantra 3. Sa ikshang chakre kasmin aham utkrantah bhavishyami kasmin va pratisthite pratishthasyami iti. So that Purusha, Ikshan means saw, mentally, that visualized rather, as though. That Purusha visualized as though. See, that's the point before the creation, any kind of. Say, even in our world also, one visualizes, one makes a plan, and then there is a creation. Okay, plan can be as per level of intelligence of that person. There is something in one's mind, and then accordingly one visualizes and one creates. Okay, say there is an architectural plan, and then there is a building afterwards, like that. Okay, so here also Brahman, okay, visualizes Ishang Chakre, and Brahman creates this world from oneself only. Means Brahman is a material cause. Okay. The way gold is a material cause of golden ornament, clay is a material cause of pot. Same way. But at the same time, in case of clay and pot, there is a pot maker who makes the pot. Okay. But in case of Brahman, there is nobody else. So Brahman is an intelligent cause also. By one's own intelligence, creates this universe. So here we can see we need to ascertain with help of contemplation, with help of even meditating on these such verses, step 1 and step 2. These 4 steps, step 1 and step 2. Okay. That the world is a cause, and from that cause the effect comes. Sorry, Brahman is a cause, and from that cause effect as a world comes. So, etasmat atmanah akashat sambhutah akashat vayoho ragnihi agnerapah apas pruthivi prithivya oshadaya purusha. Like that also it goes. Elsewhere in another Upanishad, from self the world came, or from Brahman this world came. That particular order is being explained in various Upanishads. Then here also the same. Okay. So this particular connection, our intellect need to have established very clearly. The world is not just independent entity. It has a cause, and the cause is Brahman. And that Brahman, before creation, sa ikshan chakre, means visualized. Okay. And how it is possible that one is visualizing and one is creating also? There is an example given in a Mundaka, example of spider. The spider visualizes what is the best place, okay, where there is a least movement of human, dogs and cats, So that's where the bugs also come, etc., Visualizes. Then creates the web. What's the raw material? From oneself only. It's called Urnanabi. In Sanskrit's name, Urnanabi means one creates that web from one's own tummy only. Okay. So one is intelligent cause, the same spider is a material cause also of the web. And beautiful, one stays in a web, and another beautiful, when there is a panic state or whatever reason, one gulps the web back again into oneself. Okay. One can take back the spider. So there is another bigger spider which is called Brahman. The Brahman visualizes and creates the world out of oneself. Okay. So even though there is a world, plural world, it's the effect, the cause is the Brahman. The way web is the effect, cause is spider. Same way here. Okay. Kasmin utkramante aham utkramante bhavishyami. Now the Brahman thinks, okay, about this body, the individual body, by whose departure I also too depart, and by whose staying there I also stay back. Means talking about prana. Because in this body we have seen already the prana. When its prana stays, there is a life. Prana departs, life goes also. So same thing, reconnection over here also. Just checking, what's that element? Oh, prana. Okay, so I be prana also, like that. So then that Purusa in the next mantra, mantra 4, Saha pranam asrujata. Like that. First, the prana is created. Now here prana should be seen as a total prana. Okay. Because in total also the same prana is there. Okay. Our imagination is this boundary of the body. That's why we say, okay, local and total.
So it's created as a shadow.
As a shadow, that's correct. Yeah, that's the way to connect also. The Brahman created prana as a shadow. Yatha purushe chaya. Okay. So saha purushaha pranam asrujata. First creation was the prana. Samashti prana or Hiranya Garbha or Prathamaja. Different names are there. The firstborn. The prana is also given the name firstborn. Okay. And then the next creation is also there. Next creation is what? In this mantra, I'll just chant the mantra. Saha pranam asrujata pranat shraddha kham vayu jyotihi apaha prithvi indriyam manah annam annad viryam tapah mantraha karma loka lokeshu cha nama cha. Okay. 16 over here, you got it. Okay. And just I'll just put it differently. Shraddha is a faith. Okay, faith. So concept of faith also came along with the creation. Okay. It's also said that Bhagwan created the world, and along with the world Bhagwan also created the Vedas. Okay. The knowledge. Okay. Gave to people. That came. Means the blueprint of the world or different Vidyas, cause, etc. is in the Vedas. And that Vedas is with or came from Bhagavana, given to the mankind. Like that. So Shraddha is necessary to follow. Our intellect is such, it can only revolve into the area of known. Okay. And that's why such intellect which only revolves into area of known turns into materialistic, because material world is nothing but area of known. That's the only boundary of the intellect. One needs faith to embark into area of unknown. Without faith it's not possible, impossible. Okay. To know the cause, which is subtlest most, which is abstract, which is not available as an object, the faith is a must. Without that it's impossible. Okay. So even in another Upanishad, in intellect, in area of intellect, it says that intellect is also subdivided into 5. To better understand, Tasya Shraddhaiva Shiraha. What is the head of intellect or Vijnanamaya Kosha? Shraddha. So Shraddha is a must. So here says Shraddha. Okay. Otherwise one becomes a Pratyakshavadi. Whatever I see, perceive is right, otherwise I don't understand, means it's not there or I doubt about it. I don't care about it. Like that it happens. Okay. So Shraddha, that's one. Then the 5 elements come: Vayu, Jyoti, Apa, Prithvi. Space, air, fire, water, earth. Okay, space, air, fire, water, earth. The 5 elements. So now 6. Then the senses, organs of perception, organs of action. Okay, the sense is 5. We can keep that. Then means that bunch of 5 we can take as a 1. Okay, bunch of 10 also, all senses we can take as a 1 element. Then manaha, mind. Then annam, the food. Okay, then viryam, annat viryam, that power, the energy. Then tapaha. Okay, one gets that energy and capacity to act, because there is a frivol and there is a mistake, one need to do penance. Okay, so tapa for as a penance to go higher, to gain more energy also, more power also. Then mantra, for spiritual evolution mantra is necessary. Then karma, all types of karma including upasana. Lokaha, okay, all field of experiences. Okay, lower, current one and the higher. And namaha, infinite variety of names. Okay, because that name is necessary, okay, to identify the distinction, the nama. These are the 16 things. Okay, that's a creation. That's a creation. The creation is being explained different way in different Upanishads. Okay.
I missed one after mind and before energy.
After my annam, food. Food. The first is prana, and then these are the 15 ones. Okay. The second is the shraddha, then 5 elements means 7, then senses 8, mind 9th, food 10th, viryam, the valor 11th, tapa 12th, mantra 13th, karma 14th, lokaha means field of experience 15th, and nama, all the names 16th. Okay, so that happened, that came out from the Brahman, the way the web comes out from the spider. Okay.
Nama is not necessarily part of it. Nama is just the name of whatever's created.
Yeah, but that name itself is part of the creation. Why so? Because there is a distinguishing factor. It's a very beautiful one. It's a good question also. That name is the creation. Nama is a creation. If you look at minutely, because ultimately when we say various different variety distinguished by the name, it becomes plural. Okay. But the core of the variety is one. Say for example, pot 1, pot 2, bucket, saucer, cup, etc., the brick. Okay. What is the core? The clay. Okay. So the name alone, or the name is very important factor of creation. Here not only the object is being pointed as a part of creation. Object is also there, the name is also there. Okay. So that's a unique way to see the creation.
It's interesting because from the human perspective, we feel that we are naming the objects in the creation. And that's a reverse way of seeing it, which is that God gives the name which actually creates.
Yes. I remember Swami Vivekananda now. He says that all the names, even the sacred signs, say Om, the cross, many other signs like a moon and star and many other signs, sacred signs and other also. They are already in the ether, in Avakasha. The mantras, the vibration, the name means what? Vibration, isn't it? Mantras are also forever since the creation in Avakasha. Okay. And then it has been discovered. And once it is discovered, it is available for the general people also, general psyche people also. It goes that way. So it's very subtle.
And speaking of vibration, then we move to sound.
Yes.
Vibration is a sound.
Sound. Name is also sound only. Yeah. Okay.
Modern physics.
Yes, it helps immensely in that line also. So here, this 16, one of the 16 is the name also, Shraddha also even. So many, the faith, that is also been given. So that area, that part is a part of the Adhyaropa, step 1 and step 2. Out of 4, step 1 and step 2. Creation has happened. Okay. Now, step 3 and step 4 Shruti wants to do by few rest of the mantras. Okay. Now I'll chant the next mantra. Sayatha ima nadyah syandamanaha samudrayanaha samudram prapya astam gachanti vidyate tasam namarupe samudra iti evam prochyate. Now, beautifully, with analogy, Apavada Prakriya has been explained. Sayatha, just as Nadyah, the rivers, Syandavanaha, they flow towards where? Ocean. Samudrayanaha, they rush towards the ocean. And what happens? They become ocean. They become one with ocean. They get destroyed as a river. Okay. And what happens as a result? So naturally what happens? Vidyate tasa nama rupe. Their name and their form is gone. Now it's no more a Ganga, or there is no more a Narmada. Okay, the name and form is gone, because form and name goes together. Okay. So name and form is gone, it's all waters, that's all. Okay, so there is a merger. It becomes ocean. It becomes infinite. So far it was finite, one particular line of water with particular banks. Now it's infinite. Becomes water. Same way. Same way. Ima. Shodasha kalaha. This 16 kalas, aspects. Purushayanaha. Purusham prapya astam gacchati. This Shodasha Kala means this world, different aspects we have seen. If they gush back to the ocean of Purusha, when they merge with the Purusha, they also lose their separate identity. They lose their separate identity. And says, Vidyate chasam nama rupe Purusha ityeva prochyate. Earlier, there was very many different names and forms. Once there is a process of apavada, it doesn't happen automatic. Once there is a process of apavada means what? Step 3 and step 4. Okay, very, very crucial ones. Step 3 especially. Step 4 only happens when there is a step 3. Actually, for all steps like that, step 2 only happens when there is a step 1. Okay. And step 3 only happens when there is a step 2. And step 4 only happens when there is a step 3. Okay. And that's why this process to happen in our intellect is very, 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 very important. And for this process to happen, all different steps, step 1, step 2, step 3 and step 4 even. Okay. Very many different acharyas or great saints, Vedantic saints, they have written dedicated books so that particular step can be highlighted properly, can be dealt properly. Just as I told, that Yoga Vasishtha, step 3, elaboration of step 3. Actually Yoga Vasishtha is of big book of it comes in 2 volumes, 2 thick volumes. So volume 1 is step 3. Volume 2 is rather step 4. It goes that way. Okay. So for the seeker who is going through that particular stage, would definitely attract that book and would go through that book or that kind of a thinking process, that kind of a teaching process or learning process rather, and would go into that area of inquiry. Okay. Because here the line of direction has been carved out, the way we have seen in case of upasana also. Iti upasate. That much is written. One who does upasana like that, prana upasana, romkar upasana, one gets the result. But doing is doing first. And one who undergoes gets the result. And that's the testimony or the authority of the scripture or the Vedanta Shruti is giving here. So, vidyate chasam nama rupe purusha ityeva prochyate saha eshaha akalah amruta bhavati tadasha shlokaha. Okay. So one who has merged the so-called effect into so-called cause, what happens? One becomes amrutaha, immortal. One becomes akalaha, without aspects. Kala, aspect. One becomes without aspects. No plurality, because one goes back to the source. Okay. One goes back to the source. And Brahma, so here from Brahma 16 kala appeared. Now I trace back, I establish the link first and I trace back. That Brahman is a kala. That kala goes back to Brahman. Going back to Brahman means what? Step 3 and step 4, which is nothing but there is no effect. There is no effect, it's a cause only appearing in form of effect. Brahman, or sorry, the world is nothing but Brahman only appearing in this manifold way. And this manifoldness is not real. So in our intellect, the realness of this world is so much rooted, that much deeper effort, that much strong effort we need to make on ourselves, so that it can uproot this truth of the world. It can uproot that reality what we have given to this of this world.
It is real, but it's not real as well.
Yeah. So that's the second one we need to work on. First is we are established into. Right. The second one we need to work on. Okay, then what it is, It is real as a Brahman.
Yeah.
Okay, it is real as a Brahman. That's all. On its own, it's not real. That's a step 3 only. The world is nothing but Brahman. And from there on, I don't need to put a tag as an effect. The same way I don't need to put tag as a cause also. It's Brahman only. Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. That way. So that part, Apavada part is given. And now the same phenomena is given by another mantra, mantra 6. Ara ivaratha nabhau kala yasmin pratisthitaha tam vedyam purusham veda yatha ma vo mrityuh parivrathya iti. There is a quotation to support the statement earlier given, that whole world or prapancha born out of Brahman, supported by Brahman, and dissolved into Brahman also. And there is a popular example of the wheel. The wheel has a rim, the spokes, and the hub. Okay. So he says, Rathanabho ara iva kala yasmin pratisthita. Kala 16 kala. The way entire the wheel is supported by the hub. Okay, it's supported by hub. What we saw earlier, the same wheel example, the spokes are pranas. We saw the spokes are prana. Now we can connect here, complete the example. Over there, hub was not explained. The hub is Brahman, and the rim is this plural world. We can connect that way. If one who sees that way, the will, the way there are 3 components, same way in the world also one sees as a 3 components. 1, this plural world. 2, the prana as a spoke, and Brahman as a hub. Tam Vedya, Purusham Vedya, one who knows that way, only knows that. That person only is a man of knowledge. Yatha va mrityuh va parivyatha iti. One who knows, this is not afflicted by mortality. Okay. Means phalam is amrutatvam. One becomes immortal. One who remains on at the rim level naturally is mortal. Okay. But one knows entire mechanism, including the cause, one becomes immortal. Means one who has the knowledge of core or the self or the cause becomes a self person, a realized person, becomes immortal. Brahmavit brahmaiva bhavati. Okay. So
what is interesting is that it's not a matter of dissolving the world. It's a matter of seeing the world
different way. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's not literally dissolving, no. If we say at all dissolving our own understanding, about reality given to the world. Otherwise, the world is there. The world is the Brahman.
Isn't there a saying that the world will one day dissolve completely?
Let it dissolve, but again it will come back, because there's a cyclic process goes on. When it dissolves into the seed form. The way there are seeds of any tree or any vegetable, again comes back, again sprouts and comes back. There's a cyclic process is going on. It's called Srushti Sthiti Pralaya. That's also part of nature. The way we sleep, we wake up like that. So over here also there is a total level. That's Brahmaji's day and Brahmaji's night, symbolic.
The other thing is, if you don't have a mind, or if you don't have thoughts, if your mind is still, then this doesn't appear.
Yes, that's true. That's a deep sleep.
Yeah, no. The Turiya state, where you go beyond deep sleep into the Turiya state, where your meditation is such, then just no thoughts.
That's true, but no thought rather we should put that I know myself as a consciousness also on top of it.
Yeah.
Because no thought can be also another state of also samadhi, we can say, but also that's part of this world only. Higher state of course, but it's still, so we have to combine then. Okay, no thought, and I am aware of the conscious principle. Because there is much more to it actually, because that area is very subtle, but if we zoom in, it's so large, and that's why the books and books and books are written in that. So what I was saying, that the thoughtlessness, okay, thoughtlessness is the way to go, okay, that's fine, but it has to be clarified that it's not only literally thoughtlessness, because there is another world called Jada Samadhi.
Yeah, not that.
But to distinguish it, we need to put it's a Chetan Samadhi. Means there is a presence or there is an awareness of self also on top of it. That only. So that's what I'm telling. If we zoom in, there are so many different variations and so many ways Mahatmas also has written that state, its effects, various states and its effects also. Like that. Okay. So now, the last...
And granted that our thinking process can never fully achieve the understanding.
The thinking process, thinking, our intellect cannot fully achieve. Intellect can happily self-dissolve itself. Its own understanding, its own ignorance-based ideas can be, oh yes, it is like that, let me dissolve it. Like that it goes. And then, having said all this, then Pipalada Rishi says, Tan hi ovacha etau eva vadet aham eva tat param brahma veda na atah param asmi iti. Pipalada says, after saying all this to the disciples, etavat eva aham etat param brahma veda. He says, I know that much only. About para brahma, I know that much only. So, before Shishya gets confused that there is something else also he don't know, he says no. Na atah param asti iti. Beyond that, there is nothing else to know also. So that's the limit of knowledge. That's the furthest limit of knowledge. I just told, beyond there is nothing to be known. Like that. And then all the disciples...
Just to stop the students thinking a bit further for the next course.
Yes, that's why he says, okay, that's the ultimate cause, there is nothing, and we need to remove that cause, in fact, chain only, and then what is.
Beyond you have madness.
Yes, if you just keep going, it's like our whims and fancies, So in terms of inquiry, it stops. In terms of proper inquiry, this is it. Like that it says. And then further it says, the very last mantra. Now the Shishyas, like all the disciples, we can imagine that arranged for the Pada Puja of Guru. Te tam archayantah tvam hi nah pita yah asmaka vidyaya param tarayasi iti. Namah param rishibhyah te tam archayantah. Now disciples, as a result, the teaching was over. Teacher also said, alam, enough. Okay, that's the limit of the knowledge. And it's nothing beyond to be known. So the disciples were also satisfied, pleased, etc. And they praise the teacher. How? Tvam hi nah pita. The disciple says, you are our real father. Okay. My biological father gave me birth. Okay, that's fine. Raised. Okay, yes. But you gave me spiritual body. Brahma Sharira, you gave me. And because of that only I became immortal. With the biological body, I remain mortal only. Here with this Brahma Sharira, I became immortal. So from mortality to immortality, you took us. You took us. That's why you are our father. Okay. And we are Dvija, second born. Okay, second time. As a Ajaha, as a infinite. Asmakam avidyayaha paramparam tarayasi. Why you are Pita? Because you took us out of this ocean of ignorance. Okay, you show us that another shore which is infinite from this ocean of ignorance. Okay, so we feel like so grateful to you. We prostrate to you, we prostrate to you. Namah Paramarishibhyaha, Namah Paramarishibhyaha. To this Rishi Parampara, to this origin of Rishi Parampara, which is Sadashiva Samarambham, Bhagwan only, I prostrate, and I humbly prostrate, and I am pretty much satisfied. Not only that, I show my gratitude for that also. Okay. And saying twice the last 9, that indicates the end of the Upanishad also. Okay. And that way, with help of, all the surroundings, definitely the Ma's blessings, Gurudev's blessings, and your all cooperations, and nature also, we could finish this Prashna Upanishad.
Wonderful.
Yes.
You managed to finish it in the time.
Nature is the point.
Yes.
A real achievement. Should we prostrate?
Yeah, to Ma. Now we'll do Purnamada. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om Jai Ma.